Seated on the dais with me, my colleague and, if I may say so, my good friend, Adarniya Kishan Reddy Sahib, Minister of Culture and Minister of Donor, on whose wide shoulders and broad shoulders, if I may, rests the responsibility of the cultural resurgence of India across the globe. The responsibility given to him by Prime Minister Adarniya Shri Narendra Modi ji. Seated on the dais with me, both our secretaries, Secretary Civil Aviation Rajiv Bansal ji, Secretary Culture Govind Mohan Sahib, our joint secretaries of both departments, Saten Mishra ji, Piyush Srivastav ji, Mugdha Sinha ji, Vikram Devdutt ji, CEO of AIHL, seated here with us, Acting Director of NGMA, Temsunaro Jamir Tripathi ji, our ambassadors of Austria and Belgium, our CEO of the new avatar of Air India, Campbell Wilson ji, and many of you before us who are passionate about Bharat Mata's sanskar, sanskriti, her 5,000-year-old history, a history that is powered by her adhyatmik shakti, a history that is powered by her sanskriti, and a history that will once again enable her to emerge as a world leader, both in economic terms and her mridu shakti, her soft power. Ladies and gentlemen, it indeed is a great privilege, if I may say so, and a great honor to be here today on stage with my colleague and my friend Kishan Reddy ji, who under the leadership of our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, who has insisted on, who has stressed on not only India's economic emergence on the world stage, but also her cultural re-emergence on a global stage. The latter responsibility has been well entrusted to my colleague and my brother Kishan Reddy ji, who over the past many years has very passionately taken up this cause, not only across the length and breadth of India, पर यह अतिशयोक्ति नहीं होगी अगर मैं कहूं कि विश्व पटल पर भारत की सांस्कृतिक भूमिका, भारत की पारंपरिक भूमिका की एक नई ज्योति जगाने का कार्य मेरे भाई किशन रेड्डी जी ने किया है। आज उस विचारधारा के साथ उस लक्ष्य की पूर्ति करने के लिए आज एक छोटा सा कदम, एक छोटी सी बूंद उस समुद्र में, a small drop in that large ocean of Bharat Mata's culture is being contributed by the Ministry of Civil Aviation through this exposition of India's modern art, ancient art capability. Air India has always been a figurehead, a representation of both those elements that I have spoken about. India's economic capability. An airline in those days, in the early 1900s, when very few countries, very highly economic developed countries, could also think that big. It was India and Air India and JRD Tata who thought of a great idea. And right from its inception to the first mail courier aircraft, which he himself piloted from Karachi to Mumbai, to the first international flight between Mumbai and London, to the first longest non-stop flight between New Delhi and New York, Air India has had many firsts to its name. And along with that tremendous capability in the skies, the founder of Air India, JRD Tata, had always thought of contributing to the national mainstream in terms of India's soft power itself. And what a forward-thinking innovator he was, in a time when I can confidently say no airline in the world thought of the contribution to the cultural aspect of its country. JRD Tata stood out as a pioneer. And this video that all of you have observed today, and I would like to tell Kishan ji also, ये तो मात्र एक झलक है इस कला के संग्रहालय में जो क्षमता है, जो विभूति है। करीब करीब 4000 पीसेस हैं आर्ट। मैंने स्वयं भी इसके बारे में बहुत सुना था, पर कभी देखने का मौका नहीं मिला था। और जब 2021 में, पिछले वर्ष, मैंने मुंबई की ऐतिहासिक एयर इंडिया बिल्डिंग नरीमन पॉइंट, which by itself is a testimony to the capability of Air India. In that building, we held an art exhibition where we showcased probably only 4 to 5% of this art collection. But in that art collection, you had not only paintings that have been shown here, not only sculptures that have been shown here, but even the menu cards of Air India during that period were a piece of art. It's not the contemporary menu cards that you and I receive when we board aircrafts today, domestic or international. They were large menu cards this size, an artwork on its cover, beautifully engraved in the interior. And from menu cards to artifacts, to textiles, to music, to clothing, the repertoire is expansive. And if you look at artists, from Jatin Das to Anjali Ila Menonji, we saw Prabhaji's arts exposition in this film that we have seen, the great M.F. Hussain ji, even V.S. Gaitonde. And each piece of art of Gaitonde today on the international market is priceless. And in this collection that is being handed over to you today, you have many Gaitondes as part of this collection. You even have an ashtray which has been sculpted by Salvatore Dali. And that was the beauty of Air India. And now you'll ask me, how come that came to be? Because Air India, in its passion of not only providing a capability on the airspace, also transported our culture. Many of the paintings that you will see in this collection, Salvatore Dali's ashtray that you will see in this collection, is all a contribution in kind for the fare that was to be paid while flying by Air India. And so many of these artists contributed their art, their passion, which has now become a part of this wonderful historical connection. And in this collection you will see not only modern art, which rightfully Srimati Tripathi ji needs to be housed in the NGMA, the National Gallery of Modern Art, but you also see our handlooms, right from Madhubani to Varli, to Rabri, to Phulkari, to Kalamkari. All of that is also a part of this collection. And therefore today it gives me a great sense of pride. And I would like to thank symbolically today's representative of Air India in the form of Campbell Wilson ji also, that this collection is being handed over to none other than the Culture Ministry and the National Gallery of Modern Art, where I sincerely hope it obviously cannot be displayed in its entirety, but certainly like the MoMA, the V&A in England, you must have a revolving exhibition where even if you show 10% from a seasonal variation, you keep changing that collection, and therefore you bring in people who are passionate about art to keep viewing the changing collection as it's going on. And I would like to request my brother Kishan Reddy ji also that this exposition of art should not be confined only to the NGMA in Delhi. It should become a traveling expedition. And it must go to various states in India, because I certainly found it to be extremely educative for me. People such as myself who have an interest in art, an interest in culture, but do not get an opportunity to be exposed to it often enough. These are wonderful opportunities to learn about our Indian painters, our Indian sculptors, our Indian weavers, and the capability that they have brought, and how they have taken our Tiranga and planted it not only on the Indian stage, but today, these artists of ours have actually taken our Tiranga and विश्व पटल पर गाड़ के रखा है हमारे सभी संस्कृति को और हमारे आर्ट को, हमारे कला को, इन सभी पेंटर्स के द्वारा. So on this day, it gives me great pleasure in handing over this collection, and I am very confident that under Kishan Reddy ji's able command, the soft feeling of this collection and its capability in terms of not necessarily reaching our minds, but certainly entering our hearts, will become a reality. Thank you very much.